Hello dear friends, this information from Peter B. Mayer clarifies many concepts about the experience that all the starseeds are living. Dolores Cannon said that the waves of light wakers began after the atomic bombs were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki in August 1945. In addition, she said those born just after World War II had the impetus to raise the frequency of the planet in the 50s and early 60s. Opinion piece. Pleiadian guidance. In 2018, Operation Freedom began. Operation Masterpiece was to activate our DNA. Nature is exclusively fifth-dimensional. It is a state of love, peace, joy, abundance, health, and freedom. Negative frequencies are toxic to starseeds. If you no longer resonate with the 3D matrix, it means you have moved forward. Things will not go back to normal because you have evolved. Nothing is normal anymore because the world has changed drastically. There is a much higher level of comfort in the new frequency. More level of mastery is required for you to enter heaven. The dimensions are locked to keep everything in place. You will need some sort of password to get through the door to 5D. The entrance to heaven is to open the upper crown chakra. The head chakra is the entry point into the fifth dimension. It takes courage to let go of the old and take the leap into the new dimension. Change your life to find freedom, joy, peace, and abundance. Every human being is afraid to walk through the door, but there is nothing to be afraid of. What is coming for you is far greater than anything you have known so far. Let's start. Throughout the centuries, Pleiadians have always been a light and guide to humans on planet Earth, bringing clarity and hope to your world. To our world. The following information is derived from direct decoded etheric transmissions from well-intentioned star beings who have been anchored in Earth's solar system. Toward the end of 2018, the forces of light in Earth's solar system deployed an all-encompassing planetary liberation operation that was dubbed Operation Earth Freedom. In the first hours of this incredible galactic operation, Special Delta Security Forces destroyed and removed a large artificial screen called the Dyson Sphere from Earth's solar system that literally blocked all access to the fifth dimension. Another special mission of the Forces of Light, called Operation Masterpiece, consisted of diverting large amounts of high-frequency gamma light from the galactic core through the Sun to the surface of planet Earth for the purpose of activating inactive strands 4 and 5 of Earth's starseed DNA. The purpose of this mission was to raise the vibratory resonance of the DNA so that you can consciously perceive the level of the fifth dimension. At the beginning of the Masterpiece operation, every solar observatory on Earth took very clear and detailed images in video recordings of the Forces of Life's spacecraft carrying out this particular light deflection operation in the vicinity of the Sun. The Forces of Light have had 100% success in eliminating the radiation of this light to Earth over the past 3 Earth years, with every steady beam of cosmic light coming from the galactic core that has been measured, recorded, and documented to date by the Coalition as well as by all Earth's cosmic agencies. while the galactic benevolence of our solar system did the technical work to help raise the frequency. Bringing the light to Earth was only half the battle. This high-frequency scalar light had to be anchored in the crystalline grid of planet Earth so that it could be stored for the purpose of raising the consciousness level of all inhabitants. The only practical way to accomplish this was for the light forces already living on Earth to use their own body as a receiver, a reservoir of light, holding large amount of cosmic light in their body and then anchoring this light into the Earth's grid. The new 5D light grid on Earth's surface is emitting a scalar light wave that is tuned to the frequency of the 4th and 5th DNA strands. Two timelines. A timeline only emerges when someone observes, records, or reveals it. Simply put, a timeline is a physical observation revealed. Some might call it a manifested reality, but a perceived reality best describes it. A timeline is the only production of perception and perceived content that is the result of the frequency of the observer. A timeline is a manifestation of pure quantum physical process, while this manifestation perception actually resonates to a precise frequency. The frequency of a timeline is within the frequency range of a dimension. There are two very different and distinct timelines occurring on planet Earth at this time. The other is the artificial 3D mind matrix timeline with frequency of 7.8 MHz, which has dominated the DNA frequency on the Earth for the last 400,000 years. Negative low and high frequencies are poisonous to starseeds. The three-dimensional matrix does not include nature or anything natural for that matter. Nature is exclusively in the 5th dimension, which resonates between 40 and 100 Hz in the gamma states of consciousness through celestial bliss. It is to say, a perfect state that manifests energy of love, peace, joy, abundance, health and freedom. Multiple dimensions. Every being exists in 12 dimensions, but is most conscious of a single dimension with which he or she resonates most. It is possible to be fully conscious in 2 or more dimensions. This level of multidimensionality is very advanced and will happen to you over time. Before one can reach the level of conscious mastery, the dimension in which you resonate most becomes dominant in perception to the point where the other dimensions no longer seem to exist, but in reality are still there. The powerful energies have ensured that the second gamma timeline has stabilized on the surface of the Earth for the first time on the planet. Therefore, 2 fully accessible timelines can be accessed on the surface. Tuning. Consciousness creates the timeline, and this happens first through resonance, but mostly through choice. According to the laws of universal quantum physics, the being or observer must choose a reality by tuning to this frequency. Moreover, the only thing that one dimension has in common with another is being in the same space-time. Consciousness is the variable because its frequency can change. Things vibrating at different frequencies are in the strongest possible opposition to each other. The old three-dimensional matrix still resonates at 7.8 Hz. For an Earth star being, as a result of the recent evolution of his consciousness, his new personal atomic frequency is somewhere in the range of 21 to 40th. This is the 4th dimension, and if you resonate closer to 40th, you are about to make a complete transition to the 5th dimension. By the time you have realized that, you will have lost almost all resonance with the lower timeline. Signs of change. In 3-dimensional truth, even things that seemed so wonderful a year or two ago no longer seem so wonderful now, because your being is definitively no longer resonating with the lower frequency of the 3-dimensional matrix. And this is what is supposed to happen when you evolve and ascend. If this is your case, then that old timeline will now seem very repulsive to you, and you will try to move away from it to something higher and better. The dimensions have not changed or split. They have remained constant. You are the one who has changed. Another important strand of your DNA has been activated. Our consciousness has evolved over the past few Earth years, and is ready to move to the next level, whether or not you have been aware of it up to this point. You have advanced dramatically. New normal. Will things ever get back to normal? The old normal for you, even the comfortable, is now completely out of resonance with your being and will move away from you according to the laws of the universe. If you ascend to about the 5th dimension and do not advance to the next level and choose to go backwards on the vibrational ladder and not progress or choose to face the change presented with resistance and fear, it will not go so well, and in the end you will turn around and go back up or down quickly, because you cannot stand between two orders. After years of habit, comfort, survival, anxiety, and 3D matrix programming, the first inclination is to try to keep going, doing things all the way you are used to. There is no comfort in trying to return to what was in fact the opposite of comfort, because one is totally out of this vibrational adjustment. The good news is that within the shift that is occurring, there is a new level of comfort that goes far beyond what you were used to. The Pleiadians have said, do it quickly, for there is something else that you must pay attention to. Something much bigger than you can imagine demands that you move further up the ladder. Also, a higher level of mastery is required for you to pass through the gateway to heaven. Password. Assuming that consciousness has now evolved to a near 5D level, and that the 3D matrix no longer resonates with you, and finally that the 5D grid is actually accessible from Earth at this time, there is only one final universal requirement for 5D access. The dimensions are locked to keep everything in place, so you will need some kind of password or quantum key to get through the door to 5D. Before giving you this key, specific input and output parameters must be set, and make sure everything is in line and accurate to proceed with this dimensional transfer. You will literally enter your light body through the 5D gateway that is at the lower boundary of the 5th dimension. This gateway resonates at exactly 40th and is located at the barrier between 4th and 5th dimension. This barrier is like a dimensional filter. That will only let certain frequencies through. This border is called by mystics the veil, the great void, or the gap. The door and the key. 2 weeks ago something wonderful happened. On your ascension journey, you have raised the energy in each of the 7 chakras in your body all the way to the top of your head up to the crown chakra. Furthermore, this chakra is now completely open, and within its secrets lies ascension. The opening of this portal is so astounding that it defies all human knowledge. The mystics teach that when all is ready, this upper chakra opens over a period of weeks, and one has a profound experience when this happens. When it first happens, one realizes that the body, mind, and emotions are in a state of shock for a while until you discover what is really happening. Pleiadians know very well that the entrance to the 5th dimension is a magnetic gateway that travels through the portal of the sun. In the ancient writings of Hindu mystics of Lemuria, it says, "The sun portal is the last door you will open on earth." This is the crown chakra key the crown chakra they talked about, and it is the passageway to heaven, the Brahma gate as the Hindus call it. Exit point. Within the Laminas Merkaba vessel in the dome is the crown gate, which is the point of entry and the point of existence of the soul. In and out of the body, the ancient scriptures go on to say, "And we shall journey through the Sahasrara gate beyond the sun into the heavenly realms." The upper Sahasrara chakra is the gateway to freedom and is your exit point from the 3D matrix to the 5th dimension. Here is the key and the only key to open the door. The universe has closed all doors to the lower realms for you now. That world is gone, but at the same time, during the last months and weeks, the universe has shown you something new. This new thing is the new life, and it's very different. It may take some getting used to at first, because it is so unfamiliar. Within this new understanding that you may have resisted or tried to reject lies your escape to freedom and something far beyond the well-being you have ever known. The secret key and password to move into this new higher timeline and into this new 5D reality is simply this. You must show strong faith and courage, surrender and let go the old, and make the leap to the next level in the next dimension. The level of faith and courage that is now required of you is a higher level than you have used before. To travel through the crown portal to the 5th dimension, you must simply surrender to the wonder, not try to hold on the lower concepts that are gone. Have faith in the universe and have the courage to embrace this. Change your life to make this quantum leap. There is no other key to the higher realms than this, and every great spiritualist who has traveled through the great void will tell you the same thing. Advanced spiritual concepts are always presented in a sober manner, but you have to see the sign of the wall and take the right action when it appears to find the passage to freedom, joy, peace, and abundance. Fear of change. What is the universe showing you that you need to do right now? Do you need to move to a new location? Do you need to change relationships? Do you need to change jobs or careers? What big life change are you being called to do right now? The fear of walking through this divine door is very understandable, and every being experiences it. if you are able to see what has happened within you and what is happening around you, you will see that there is nothing to fear, and that the right choice is to let go and fully embrace the change that is coming. You have a timeline in place that you resonate with, but you have to align with it for the frequency correction to be made quickly. Soulgate, the divine energy of the Sahasrara Chakra according to the Pleiadian masters. The ancient Hindu mystics teach that the Sahasrara means thousand-pointed chakra of or infinite chakra. The Sahasrara is located at the top of the head and is also known as the crown chakra. It is known as the gateway to the soul and connects to the celestial realms. It is the ascended master's journey. This chakra only opens when all other chakras are fully open and creates strong connection to the Supreme Being. The awakening of the Sahasrara Chakra signifies a universal flow of energy and a spiritual enlightenment. When the Sahasrara door is activated, there is a delayed experience in consciousness. It is literally the feeling of readiness to go from one world to another. It brings a strong emotion of letting go of the old, but also the joy of transformation. It is an awareness of profound change. It is said that when it's time to open the Sahasrara, a being emerges from the mortal realms and ascends to take its rightful place with the archangels. The chakra energy portals within your light body are multidimensional doorways and travel paths to the 12 dimensions of this universe. Of course, keeping all the light body chakra portals open and rotating in the right direction requires a high level of a spiritual and ritual practice. Requirements. All things that have a high frequency can be used to keep the chakras in optimal condition, which includes 10 points. First, be in nature every day. Second, practice daily meditation. Third, do circuit prana breathing. Fourth, listening to high frequency music. Fifth, create art. Sixth, observing and understanding sacred geometry. Seventh, acquire higher and more ancient knowledge. 8. To eat only natural, light, raw, energetic foods and pure water. 9th, expose your auric field to monatomic scalar crystal energy. 10th, practice self-love and self-respect. Take a breath from everything. Think it through and you will regain your balance. At this time you have to be brave and trust the universe. Surrender. Let go and follow the path it shows you. That is the big message. As the forces of light continue with well-intentioned missions of the Earth Liberation Project, and as the crown chakras of billions of star beings on Earth are being opened, great transformations are taking place all over the planet. As everyone aligns with their resonance timeline, what is coming for you is much greater than you have known so far. So look for the signs. They are all around you. Just follow that path. It is time to sail higher and higher as we approach the 5th dimension and our heaven on earth. The elite hold gold. The world's super rich are holding physical gold in secret bunkers. The strategic case for owning gold remains strong according to Goldman Sachs analysts. They point to factors such as political uncertainty, recession fears, and other concerns about the global elite. Goldman's research data showed that owning the physical metal appears to be the global elite's preferred way to edge against ultimate events. Physical gold purchases have increased at a rapid pace over the past 3 years, the statistics showed. Oil prices hit multi-year highs on supply shortages. Oil prices rose more than 1% on Monday and hit multi-year highs as global supply shortages are strengthening demand for fuel and beyond supported prices. Oil majors are about to post the highest cash flow in more than 13 years. The Western world's largest oil companies probably just generated more cash than any time since the Great Recession, and investors are about to find out what they'll do with it. Wall Street closes at a record, but Facebook waits. Stock indexes closed modestly higher Tuesday, with the Dow Industrial and Standard & Poor's 500 indexes hitting new records, and gains were modest as Facebook shares fell on the back of these quarterly earnings. Spain. Spanish stock market rises. The Spanish stock market rose 0.16% on Monday and remains above 8,900 points, encouraged by the advance of most of the large stocks and the record highs reached by Wall Street, according to the market data. The Illicit Economy in Spain is the title of a new book by Dr. Armando Fernández Técnico, professor of sociology at the Complutense University of Madrid. The author points out that the authorities and the media focus on blue-collar crime when it is white-collar crime that does most damage to the Spanish economy. Americas. AMLO accuses the IMF of provoking economic and social decadence in the world. The International Monetary Fund produced economic and social decadence throughout the world, said the President of Mexico, regarding the organization's claim to cancel the Dos Bocas refinery in Tabasco. A crowd awaits in Brazil the resurrection of a pastor who wrote that he would come back to life 3 days after his death. The faithful waited in front of the doors of the funeral home for the miracle to happen, but after the deadline expired, the body of the religious man was buried. The Brazilian pastor, Huber Carlos Rodrigues, wrote in 2008 that after receiving divine revelations after his death, he would be resurrected after 3 days. The religious died last week in the city of Goiatuba, in the state of Goiás, and a crowd waited in front of the doors of the funeral home for the miracle to happen. In videos published on social networks, a group of people can be seen waiting with music and chants for the moment of the resurrection, which finally did not come. USA. Mudslides, power outages as a storm drenched California. A powerful storm drenched wildfires cracked northern California on Sunday, triggering mudslides and flooding, while strong winds toppled utility poles and trees in what was called a bomb cyclone. Cyclone bomb meteorologists say U.S. West Coast should brace for huge sub-zero storm. Climate scientists say so-called bomb cyclones generally occur along coasts where warm water creates strong temperature gradient from its surface to the atmosphere above. Seattle and other places along the west coast should brace from a major cyclone that could be equivalent to a hurricane, forecasters said. Gold rush. Billions of dollars in gold are being unearthed beneath the displaced Oroville Dam spill, which officials fear will trigger a gold rush. Millions of cubic yards of virgin soil and bedrock are being displaced beneath the Oroville Dam. The impressive amounts of earth being moved exceed the amount seen during the gold rush era of the 19th century. Microsoft notifies more than 600 companies that they were touched in 23,000 cyber intrusion attempts. The last time the company reported a massive attack on its customers was in 2020, the Microsoft Office suite, in Microsoft specifically. Detecting numerous hacking attempts through various vulnerabilities in its products. Officials later suggested that Russia or China could be responsible for the attack, but presented no direct evidence. GFK records delayed again. President Joe Biden has ordered the remaining files on the assassination of President John Fitzgerald Kennedy to remain hidden until the next December, citing the crisis. Europe. France bans bird hunting. In France, the Council of State suspends the authorization of traditional bird hunting decreed by the government. 5 species are concerned: lapwing, golden plover, thrush, blackbird and lark. Portugal, Europe's leading bicycle manufacturer. Portugal has become Europe's leading bicycle manufacturer with more than 2.5 million two-wheeled bicycles produced. Thanks to the strategic weight of the Águeda Aveiro business cluster in the center of the country, Portugal surpasses Italy, Germany, Poland and Holland in the manufacture of bicycles, both electric and traditional. The United Kingdom increases the minimum wage. The UK will announce an increase in its minimum wage for those over 23 years of age to $13 an hour. Tsunami warning for London. A US World War II wreck full of explosives would be a ticking time bomb as it is loaded with 1,400 tons of explosive, posting a tsunami threat to London. Denmark seeks diamonds in Greenland's seabed. Greenland's natural riches have attracted worldwide interest for many years. However, only a few mining projects have materialized so far. Infrastructure and due to a combination of an arid landscape with a severe climate and also total lack of infrastructure and climate concerns about pristine Arctic environments. China. Russia supplies China with 7.1 billion cubic meters of gas in 9 months. Russia's Gazprom supplied China with 7.1 billion cubic meters of gas through the Siberian Force pipeline between January and September. China's quantum supremacy. They designed a computer that would take a millisecond to solve tasks that would take the most powerful computer 30 billion years. Youth Hank 2.0 is septillion times more powerful than the world's most advanced supercomputer. In an attempt to achieve quantum supremacy, a team of researchers led by Professor Pang Yang-wei of the University of Science and Technology of China has developed a prototype quantum computer dubbed Youth Thang 2.0 through which 113 photons were detected. Quantum supremacy is when a new quantum computer prototype manages to perform a specific task using exponentially fewer resources than the most powerful existing computers. This model is a septillion times more powerful than the world's most advanced supercomputer. China secures its dominance of the global rare earth production and supply. 3 Chinese rare earth producing companies will restructure and merge into a single state-owned giant with a near 70% share of the domestic production quota for the vital materials. Cryptocurrencies. Ether outperforms rival cryptocurrencies ahead of Ethereum network upgrade. Ether has been outperforming other major cryptocurrencies over the past week ahead of an upgrade that will help its affiliated network become faster and more energy efficient. Nigeria attempts to stem the rise of cryptocurrencies by launching its own digital currency. The Central Bank of Nigeria on Monday launched the African country's official digital currency. Local media report. The official launch of eNaira took place, eNaira, that's the name, took place at the government house in the capital Abuja. Cyber attacks blocks gas stations in Iran. A cyber attack disrupted the sale of heavily subsidized gasoline in Iran on Tuesday. A state media reported, leading to long lines at gas stations across the country, weeks ahead of the anniversary of the 2019 strict protests that followed fuel price hikes. Sudan coup. The Sudanese Ministry of Information confirmed on Monday that the government is facing a coup, with the Prime Minister arrested and transferred to an unknown location after refusing to make a statement in support of the coup. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.